Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Here we are in the book of Jeremiah. We're now in 36, the number of black keys on the keyboard, and one single key in the 88 key keyboard, that big low black key. One single one. The rest of them are all 2 3 2 3 2 3 2 3. But here we are in chapter 36, and we are going back to his scribe, Jeremiah's scribe here, Baruch. He's a very interesting individual, and he has his own book, as I stated, in the Apocrypha. And in there is the letter from Jeremiah to the captives. It's a very interesting letter on the occult, and giving them directions and instructions about the idolatry that they will witness when they're carried away down there. Okay? So here we are, and we have a good example of book burning here. Does everybody agree that book burning is from Satan? Now, there's a lot of things that people may not be grounded in their faith enough to have in their possession. Because if they read it, it might affect their faith, okay? But as they grow and they get more of the strong meat, they'll be so grounded in their faith that all it will do is edify them and let them know the enemy's ploys and his tricks and his weapons that he's trying to use against God's church. So I don't believe in throwing books away. In fact, we have a pretty good library amongst the table here of occult literature. And I have all the theologian books. And you know better because you're grounded in the Bible. You know not to believe these people. But there's interesting things there that we can use to protect the church and protect the simple people that are going to be affected by this stuff. So we'll all agree that burning books is not of God. In fact, Hitler was known for burning the books. And a lot of the literature that I have was headed to the burn pile. And they say, well, there's some Bible nut across town there. He'll probably take this stuff, this literature from the theologians. Let's call him and ask him. And they called me, and I did indeed take it. I mean, old stuff that was headed to the burn pile. And that was right out of the library. Did everybody know the library was in the business of burning books? Yes, indeed. So I always hold on to the bad Bible versions and all that to use. In fact, how can we defend ourselves against these Antichrist Bible versions if we don't have the weapons we need? So we have all kinds of these Antichrist Bibles to defend the Word of God. So we here at the King James Bible Prophecy Church and Table do not believe in burning books, okay? If you're not adult enough in the Word to have certain literature, well, give it to me. Mail it to me. I'll take it. Never burn books, okay? So anyway, here we are, chapter 36. I'm going to read the notes here from the translators. Jeremiah causes Baruch to write his prophecy and to publicly to read it. The princes have an intelligence thereof by Micaiah and send Jehudi to fetch the roll and read it. They will Baruch to hide himself, and Jeremiah, the king Jehoiakim, being certified thereof, heareth part of it, and burneth the roll. How about that? Jeremiah denounceth his judgment, and then Baruch writeth a new copy. Okay, now, we notice here that this is Jehoiakim, and that puts us early in this period that we're discussing from Josiah, where Zedekiah took over. And so this is at the early part of that, prior to the 10-year, 11-year, if you count the siege, reign of Zedekiah. This would be before that, when all this stuff occurred. So here we are in the history, and the good old king, a book burner. And here we go, verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah." Now, Josiah ended up to be a pretty good king, folks. Did a lot of good. "That this word came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Take thee a roll of a book, and write therein all the words that I have spoken unto thee against Israel, and against Judah, and against all the nations, from the day I spake unto thee, from the days of Josiah, even unto this day." So there comes the doctrine. There comes the written word. Okay, they're sending us back to chapter 25, 3. In 3 it says, "It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the evil which I propose to do unto them, that they may return every man from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin." And I wish that was what was happening in our country. Up here in Wadsworth, Ohio, they just had drag queen story time over here. Why? It's if someone's disgusting enough to do that to children, that's one thing. But what kind of parent would bring their child to drag queen story time? Okay, so we wonder why we're being judged. Okay, when they do something like that, there shouldn't be anybody dragging their kid there to that. But there was, and they had a permit to do it issued to them. So I would just, it would be disgusting to hear what kind of story is in story time. What do you think, folks? But there it is, the disgusting evil being promoted to kids. Now, that doesn't sound very repentive to me. Okay, so that's why this country is being judged. Not just this country, but the world. Okay? So anyway, there it is. From Josiah, even unto this day, in 3. "It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the evil which I propose to do unto them, that they may return every man from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin." So this is the 14th of March. We are the day before the Ides of March, and the Ides of March is a celebration of Christ's crucifixion. That's the real calendar. You have to compare the Hebrew calendar to the Babylonian calendar, okay? Because we go by the Babylonian calendar today. And so the Ides of March is a satanic holiday in remembrance of crucifying Christ, if anybody didn't know that. So drag queen story time was on the 13th up here in Wadsworth, Ohio. Yeah, I'd like to see what kind of cult groups the government in Wadsworth belonged to that would issue a permit to allow pedophilia people around children. And the mothers and fathers that took their kid there ought to be arrested if we had legitimate law being enforced. But on we go in 4. Then Jeremiah called Baruch the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of the Lord, which he had spoken unto him upon a roll of a book. Period. Okay, so that's how you get the doctrine, folks. And Baruch certainly scribed a bunch of the doctrine. And Jeremiah commanded Baruch, saying, I am shut up. I cannot go into the house of the Lord. Yeah, see, he's in the hootskow, isn't he? In 6 it says, Therefore go thou and read in the roll which thou hast written from my mouth the words of the Lord in the ears of the people in the Lord's house upon the fasting day. And also thou shalt read them in the ears of all Judah that come out of their cities. Okay, so there's, and I would say this is the dungeon, and there were several dungeons around, and I would say that Jeremiah here is in one of those dungeons. All right, so 7, it says, It may be they will present their supplication before the Lord, and will return every one from his evil way, for great is the anger and the fury that the Lord hath pronounced against this people. Period. And we're suffering with that today. We just are. You can't do what they just did over here to children and think that God does not see that. According to this doctrine in these 77 books, and against any good common sense, that is an abomination to do that to children. So, are they going to turn from their evil way like here in 7? I don't think so. In 8 it says, And Baruch the son of Neriah did according to all that Jeremiah the prophet commanded him, reading in the book the words of the Lord in the Lord's house. 9, And it came to pass in the 5th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, in the 9th month, that they proclaimed a fast before the Lord to all the people in Jerusalem and to all the people that came from the cities of Judah unto Jerusalem. 10, Then read Baruch in the book the words of Jeremiah in the house of the Lord, in the chamber of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, the scribe, in the higher court at the entry of the new gate of the Lord's house, in the ears of all the people. All right, in 11's a new paragraph, and when Micaiah, the son of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, had heard out of the book all the words of the Lord, then he went down into the king's house, into the scribe's chamber. And lo, all the princes sat there, even Elishama the scribe, and Delaiah the son of Shemaiah, and Elnathan the son of Achbor, and Gemariah the son of Shaphan, and Zedekiah the son of Hananiah, and all the princes. Then Micaiah declared unto them all the words that he had heard when Baruch read the book in the ears of the people. 14, Therefore all the princes sent Jehudi, the son of Nathaniah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Cushi, unto Baruch, saying, Take in thine hand the roll wherein thou hast read in the ears of the people, and come. So Baruch, the son of Neriah, took the roll in his hand and came unto them. And in 15, and they said unto him, Sit down now, and read it in our ears. So Baruch read it in their ears. 16, Now it came to pass, when they had heard all the words, they were afraid, both one and other, and said unto Baruch, We will surely tell the king all these words, period. So at least they have the sense to fear, okay? And that's more than I can say about modern culture out here today. The people that are doing this to the children, they are really brainwashed. Satan has really done a job on them, and they are flowing with the wind, and they don't know to fear. They just don't. They think they're right. That is so stupid. Oh my, you're going to get judgment out there, people, folks, parents. You don't deserve those gifts from God, those children. 17, and they asked Baruch, saying, Tell us now, how didst thou write all these words in at his mouth? ? Then Baruch answered them, He pronounced all the words unto me with his mouth, and I wrote them with ink in the book. Okay, so that's the way we got our doctrine. 19, Then said the princes unto Baruch, Go hide thee, thou and Jeremiah, and let no man know where ye be. 20 is a new paragraph. And they went into the king into the court, but they laid up the roll in the chamber of Elishama the scribe, and told all the words in the ears of the king. So the king sent Jehudi to set the roll, and he took it out of Elishama the scribe's chamber, and Jehudi read it in the ears of the king, and in the ears of all the princes which stood beside the king. Period. 22, Now the king sat in the winter house in the 9th month, and there was a fire on the hearth burning before him. Uh-oh, here it comes. 23, the year we're in here, 2023. And it came to pass that when Jehudi had read 3 or 4 leaves, he cut it with the penknife and cast it into the fire that was on the hearth, until all the roll was consumed in the fire that was on the hearth. 24, Yet they were not afraid, nor rent their garments, neither the king nor any of his servants that heard all these words. And there you go, folks. That's it. And that's these people flying upside down that would do this stuff to children, that would disobey God's law, that would present this grotesque pig dressed up as a woman reading a grotesque story of that ought to be censored from the ears of children. It's X-rated, X-rated, X-rated. It even makes X-rated sick. And they're not going to fear the Lord over that. See, you're not going to fear the Lord, but you will someday. Yeah, you sure will. You know what Christ said about if you'll do that to one of these little ones? What did he say was the judgment on people that would do this to children. And this is exactly what these people, they don't care, they don't fear the Lord, they didn't rent their clothes. There they are. In 24, yet they were not afraid, nor rent their garments, neither the king, nor any of his servants that heard all these words. 25, nevertheless, Elnathan and Delaiah and Gemariah had made intercession to the king that he would not burn the roll, but he would not hear them. 26, but the king commanded Jerahmeel, the son of Hammelech, and Seraiah, the son of Aziel, and Shelemiah, the son of Abiel, to take Baruch the scribe and Jeremiah the prophet, but the Lord hid them. Period. 27 is a new paragraph. Then the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah. After that the king had burnt the roll, and the words which Baruch wrote at the mouth of Jeremiah, saying, Take thee again another roll, and write in it all the former words that were in the first roll, which Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, had burnt. 29, and thou shalt say to Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Thus saith the Lord, Thou hast burnt this roll, saying, Why hast thou written therein, saying, The king of Babylon shall certainly come and destroy this land, and shall cause to cease from thence man and beast? Question mark. And 30. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, He shall have none to sit upon the throne of David, and his dead body shall be cast out in the day to the heat, and in the night to the frost. 31, and I will punish him and his seed and his servants for their iniquity, and I will bring upon them and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem and upon the men of Judah all the evil that I have pronounced against them. But they hearkened not. 32. New paragraph. Then took Jeremiah another roll, and gave it to Baruch the scribe, the son of Neriah, who wrote therein from the mouth of Jeremiah all the words of the book which Jehoiakim, king of Judah, had burnt in the fire. And there were added besides unto them many like words. Period. Now, I cannot believe these guys would stand there and not rent their clothes when this man did this. Well, I tell you what, you know where Baruch shows up in the New Testament? Right there in the faith chapter, folks. How do you like that? Yes, sir. The faith chapter. There's good old Baruch there. It's in Hebrews 11, hey. And so these two here, Jeremiah and Baruch, what good warriors for Christ. You follow me? All right, folks, that's this chapter. There's a nice history about Baruch. He's going to show up again. So I'll see everybody in 37. Bye-bye.